Welcome back, everyone, to the Real Talk Podcast. I'm your host, Liam Crowley, and on today's show, we have a special episode dedicated entirely to reviewing the newly released Justice League, the latest installment in the DC Extended Universe, if that's what they're calling it, Cinematic Universe, Extended Universe, all the same, but we will be reviewing the movie in its entirety, and we will try to do a bit of a no-spoiler section, but we are going to mainly focus on spoilers and discuss every little detail about the movie. Joining me, as always, is Mike Gillis. Mike, what's going on?
What's up, guys? I saw this movie in the smallest movie theater I've ever been in, New Hampshire. Only people in the theater just a day after the movie came out, so not a good sign for Justice League.
Yeah, I saw it in Hingham at the Shipyard. Pretty decently sized theater, but probably about 12 other people besides myself, which was not a good sign because I saw Thor on opening night.
It was packed.
Mike was on vacation in New Hampshire, yeah?
Yeah, just for a day, and it was good, but I still managed to see the movie, and I wish I saw Thor again.
Yeah, so that's a little sneak peek into what our general thoughts about this movie. We'll get right into it. I want to start with the no spoiler section, and then we'll get into every little detail. Just initial thoughts on this movie. I wasn't very excited to see this movie, to be honest. I didn't think the marketing was amazing. I thought...
Very generic marketing.
Yeah, I thought a lot of it, I had seen the same thing before. And this, team up, I haven't been anticipating because I only really know the character of Superman.
Yeah.
And
barely Batman.
Yeah. Yeah, the fact that the only character I know a ton about is Superman.
You didn't see Wonder Woman yet, have you?
Yeah, I've seen parts of it on YouTube. I just never got the chance to see it over the summer, but I'm going to see it.
I'll get it on Blu-ray
eventually. Yeah. But like I said, the main character I'm most familiar with is Superman, and he's in it for about 10 minutes.
Yeah.
So that was one of my biggest criticisms, and that's not a spoiler. You know in the trailer that he is going to come back. They tease it, they just don't show it. And you also know that he's not going to have a giant presence because he's in one scene of the entire marketing with
Lois in the cornfield. It's set up to look like a dream sequence.
Yeah, and in turn, it really is actually in the movie. But just to focus on our positives from no spoilers, do you have anything to say from the bat?
I think the characterization of all the characters was very comic and just it was accurate. It was very accurate. Very comic accurate.
Very comically accurate.
I think that the characters are also well acted for what they were given.
Right.
And some of the fights are really cool.
Yeah, I'm going to say my highlight of this movie is Aquaman. I was in love with Jason Momoa's portrayal. I loved him on Game of Thrones, and when I first saw the pictures of him back before Batman v Superman was released as Aquaman, and I got a very Khal Drogo vibe from him with the long hair, because Aquaman, typically has the blonde hair, short hair, orange and green.
Kind of goofy looking.
Yeah, so they took a different approach to him, and I was very happy with what I got. I thought he brought energy to this movie that a lot of characters lacked, whether that be lack of interest or lack of
doing anything.
What they're given.
Yeah.
We'll get more into that with the spoiler section. But Aquaman was a big highlight for me. Like Mike said, a lot of the fight scenes, especially the final battle. There's one scene at the middle where they use one of Batman's pieces of tech called the Nightcrawler.
Yeah, that was cool.
I really enjoyed...
The flashback battle was probably my favorite battle.
Oh, yeah. There is a flashback scene. You get hints of it in the trailer of the Amazons, the Atlanteans, and the just demons of Apocalypse, or
what, the parademons?
The parademons, yeah. Just the army of Steppenwolf and their inaugural battle over the Mother Boxes, and I thought that battle was very well put together.
Yeah.
I was kind of sad that it was only a flashback sequence. I would have liked to see maybe the movie,
the beginning of the movie.
the movie open with that or something, because there was a lot in there. Some stuff we'll get into more in the spoiler section, just little Easter eggs here and there. But, I really like that scene. And Wonder Woman, I thought, was great in this movie.
Yeah, she's great.
Gal Gadot seems to really enjoy playing the character, and she doesn't seem to have any hesitations.
She doesn't need to. Her movie was well received.
Yeah, exactly. And she knows how much control she has because
the whole
the Brett Ratner thing.
Yeah, the Brett Ratner thing.
With
leaving the role if he continues.
If you don't know about that, Brett Ratner was accused of sexual assault or harassment. Seems to be the case with everyone in Hollywood these days. It's really sad. Just with Kevin Costner. Who else was it? Louis C.K. And now Brett Ratner.
I mean, Harvey Weinstein.
Harvey Weinstein. It's insane how many allegations are being brought up, but basically advocated that unless he's removed as was he a producer, screenwriter?
Probably producer.
Yeah, unless he was removed from the sequel, she would leave. And I'm pretty sure they did get his removal.
Yeah.
And just, I didn't know if it was official yet, but...
Because they need to make Wonder Woman 2.
Yeah, they
Patty
need to.
Jenkins needs to do stuff.
Yeah, and so that kind of shows how much control Gal Gadot has over her character, and she knows it, but she doesn't abuse that control. I think she still portrayed Wonder Woman very well in this movie.
Yeah.
Alright, do we want to jump into our negatives?
Sure.
As still for no spoilers.
Yeah. It was kind of lame.
Yeah.
I thought to bring up all these characters we don't know about yet.
You're saying lame as in the whole movie?
Yeah,
in general.
the movie was lame.
Sure.
When we go, all the characters are interesting, but not enough time was spent with them one-on-one.
Yeah,
because they go to a character, and just when they're gonna get interesting, next character, because they have to shove all these characters in because we don't know half of them.
Yeah, that's where I thought the movie lagged a lot, was with character development, because we do know Wonder Woman and Superman's character development, and spoiler for Wonder Woman if you haven't seen it, I mean I haven't even seen it but I already know this, that Steve Trevor dies.
Yeah, he dies.
And so that moment is referenced a bit. And
overdone.
Yeah, overdone as if to just be like, hey, remember this movie? You like this
Steve
movie?
Trevor? We like
you guys like Chris Pine? Well, remember he used to be in our universe until we killed him.
He's dead. He'll come back probably.
Yeah, I feel like they'll find a way to include him again.
They can bring back a certain flying guy. They can bring back anyone.
Oh yeah, that's true. And so they reference that a lot. Maybe, and I wouldn't say maybe. It does give Wonder Woman more depth because Batman or Bruce Wayne always says, "What are you still upset over your dead boyfriend from 100 years ago?" And that fires her up and really pushes her to the edge. And there are subtle hints as to Batman's past, but they don't really hold any weight because we don't know him.
Yeah, this is a phoned-in performance by Ben Affleck. Yeah. Batman vs Superman, he was the best performance in the movie.
Yeah, he blew me away in Batman vs Superman.
He is one of the worst performances in this movie, in my opinion.
You can tell he's bored. He's there by contract. He's there to get paid, and he's not there to really portray the role.
Absolutely no effort was put into the performance.
And
all his line delivery was just like he was bored.
Yeah,
he's bored.
It seemed like a lot of people, when I was reading reviews for this after I saw it, that they seemed to enjoy Ben Affleck's performance, but no. Maybe it's subjective, but I just didn't. From what we got in Batman v Superman, that's a movie that I hate. I was expecting a lot from it.
Yeah,
I was expecting it to be better than Civil War, to be honest. When the first two trailers came out, and I thought Civil War was going to be a jokey, we're at conflict, but we're not really. And I saw the first Batman v Superman trailer, I was like, this is going to be an amazing movie. And then in Batman v Superman, like I said, really don't like the movie.
But the movie was just muddled.
Some of Ben Affleck's personal monologues,
very good.
When
because he cared about the role at that point.
Yeah, when he talks about saving the human race and how I forget the exact line, but Superman, and he's mentioning how he's all powerful and how that if there's even a 1% chance, we have to take it as an absolute certainty, and that is he's playing it with conviction. Here, this is obviously filmed after Batman v Superman reviews were released.
He's
you can tell that he's taken a big step back.
You could also think about how the characters changed from "I hate Superman, I hate him" to "Oh, we're buddies, guys.
We're all friendly here.
We're all friendly here.
We're all a big.
And I think
League of Super Friends, Justice League.
The script changes in the way Bruce Wayne acts is also big because Joss Whedon does come back from Joss.
Yeah. People, I don't personally care, but you'd be surprised how many people hate when you say Josh over.
I said Josh. I just have
Okay, yeah. Whatever. Joss Whedon.
His reshoots for Batman, just the little jokes he have, do not make sense for what he was put into.
They don't fit, and they're clearly Joss Whedon. Yeah, you can tell Joss. You can clearly tell they have his own personal stamp on them.
Marvel? Is it a Marvel movie?
And they work with Marvel movies, but
not DC movies.
Just because
Because the
with
tone
the tone that has
in
been
Man of Steel.
with the tone that has been established in this cinematic universe.
Because I think Man of Steel had a good tone. I think Man of Steel's a good movie.
Yeah, and so with the tone that's been set in this cinematic universe, making this sudden shift, it just feels out of place, and
I guess
forced.
it's hypocritical to say because I'm like, oh, they need to lighten up, but they lightened up too much too fast. They need to gradually make jokes. Like I think,
and even
Aquaman had a lot of funny jokes.
Aquaman was a big highlight for me, and it worked because we hadn't really seen his character before, like a blink and you'll miss it cameo, as Jason Momoa said in an interview. But since we didn't know him, we get to be established that he is more of like a laid back, joking type.
Same thing with all the new characters.
Yeah, so when Ben Affleck is like making more jokes as Batman,
it doesn't make sense.
It just seems out of place because it's like, oh,
didn't you just like want to kill Superman in the last movie?
Exactly.
Weren't you just like really angry over Robin's death in the last movie?
Yeah, and so
now he's like, I don't care.
That's where it feels out of place.
Yeah, now, it's funny how he was so disgruntled over the death of Robin, like kind of right.
They didn't mention it explicitly, but he had that cold stare with the.
And then he's making fun of the death of Steve Trevor to Wonder Woman. That's kind of. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, you know that it's coming from a place to get her fired up, but at the same time,
it doesn't make sense.
That's something that if they brought up the death of Robin, the original character of Bruce Wayne that was established in Batman v Superman, that would have been considered a step too far.
And it would have been better if he mentioned the death of Robin to her.
Yeah,
because
and say how he moved on.
Yeah.
I think that would have worked better.
There's a lot of things that they could have done, but I feel like they were too scared because they don't want to name drop big characters. Because if they're not going to do anything, because they're waiting.
They don't want to. They don't want to set up stuff that they can't finish.
Which they might not.
Despite the fact that it seems a lot of this is the case.
Yeah,
that they're setting up stuff that they can't fulfill.
They talk about Darkseid so many times in this movie.
Well, they make there's one explicit reference to Darkseid.
Yeah, I guess.
But,
well, I mean, because the parademons are kind of like Darkseid.
That's fair. Most of my other negatives and criticisms are in spoilers. So do we want to transition to there?
Let's move to spoilers.
Okay, just a quick spoiler warning before we get into this. When we say spoilers, we mean going full in depth. We are talking about this movie as if you saw it with us. We're having a conversation essentially of specific scenes. So if you have not seen this movie yet, this is your fair spoiler warning. Or if you just don't care about spoilers and want to know what happens and our thoughts on it.
Well, you don't want to go see the movie.
Yeah, go right ahead.
You don't need
but
to.
The point is we're going to get into scenes that were not established in the trailer. Alright, so just to kick off the spoiler section, with positives, I feel like we've touched a lot on in the no spoiler section.
Positives and no spoilers.
Yeah, Jason Momoa, like I said, as Aquaman, I really liked him. I liked when we first meet him in, where were they? Iceland?
Iceland, maybe.
Maybe. When we first meet him and he's like going back out to the ocean, he's really badass. He
the whiskey.
He throws the whiskey on the ground and
saves the guy in the boat.
Yeah, and there is one scene where he's going through each member of the Justice League and talking about how, like, you know, you're weird and you're like always angry, and then he goes to Wonder Woman and he's like, well, you're just gorgeous.
And then he puts she had the lasso of truth around his leg.
Yeah, that I did really like that scene. I thought that was creative. But as for positives, I don't really know where else to go beyond there. We also mentioned the Nightcrawler scene with one of Batman's tech.
The terrorist scene at the beginning was also kind of cool.
With Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
Oh, I enjoyed that. Yeah.
Yeah, that was kind of out of place though.
Yeah, it did seem as if it was shot as a reaction to Wonder Woman, giving her own scene.
I feel like that scene could have fit in at the end of Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
But it's interesting.
Oh wait, before I forget, the scene where they play the song "Everybody Knows" over, and they're all showing reactions of like a world without Superman.
Yeah.
I thought that scene was very well put together.
That was the opening scene with the kid on the phone. I like that.
It was an interesting cold open. I thought it was a nice change of pace.
Yeah. And showed the humanity of Superman.
Yeah. But like I said, the Everybody Knows scene, they play the song "Everybody Knows" over a montage basically of everyone dealing with the death of Superman.
Yeah.
Whether it be Amy Adams as Lois Lane, or Martha Kent, or just people in Metropolis, and it was a sad scene.
Yeah.
Like